Welcome back, everyone, to the healing room. Tonight's topic of conversation is the Gayatri Mantra, which some of you may already know about and already have a practice. I learned this mantra 24 years ago when I went to India. I was invited to an event called the Kumbh Mela, which happens every 12 years in India. And I went with the Himalayan Institute. And while I was there, I overheard one of the staff members say, I'll be teaching the Gayatri Mantra at the large tree in a few minutes. If you'd like to learn this mantra, please come join me. And my inner voice said, go, this is why you came to India. And I was like, oh, this is pretty important. And so I went there and learned the mantra, and I've been doing it ever since for 24 years. And I can truly say it has transformed my consciousness. It has been one of the most significant tools in my spiritual toolbox for healing, integrating, clearing samskaras, allowing me to see what's in the subconscious mind that needs to be integrated. It did so much in all of these years. I am very grateful for, for being present when that individual said that they were going to teach the mantra. So I've sent the email out. So some of it was written about what this mantra does and the impact it has, but I will read it over again. So the translation of the mantra is, I meditate on the radiant and most venerable light of the divine, from which issues forth the triple world. May the divine light illuminate and guide my intelligence. So it states that this practice of the mantra enabled the sages to receive revelation of all other mantras. For this mantra calms mental noise, washes off karmic impurities, purifies the ego, sharpens the intellect, and illuminates the inner being with the light from which flows directly from the source. This mantra connects us to the teacher within and helps us receive inner guidance and inner inspiration. One may not notice an instantaneous transformation, but the effect of this mantra is immense and everlasting. The process of purification through this practice begins in the deep unconscious and gradually pervades all aspects of our personality. We become new and fully transformed from the inside out. So, why is this so important? Well, we live in a world that is called Maya or illusion. And so for me, the goal is to wake up in the illusion, to be in the world, but not of the world. But how do I wake up when I am so filled with ideologies, belief systems, conditioning, lineage patterns, samskaras? So many things are within me that don't allow me to pierce the veil of illusion. So how do I awaken in this world where this world's purpose, one of its purposes, is to keep us in the dream state, to keep us asleep. Hence, all that reactivity in duality. So this is why the mantras or any spiritual tools, meditation, contemplation, is essential in order to create distance between the illusion and the true self, the soul self. And so when we simply utter these words. These words are Sanskrit, this mantra. And if it's a mantra, it's usually Sanskrit because Sanskrit is a vibrational language unlike other languages. It goes beyond the mind and impacts consciousness. So even though I may not know the meaning of all these words, simply uttering these words and sounds impacts my consciousness as it bypasses the intellect. And you can feel it, right? Om Bhu Bhuva Suvah Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhu Bhuva Suvah Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhu Bhuva Suvah Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat You can feel the effects of such sounds piercing through the body, one's consciousness, having a deep, deep impact beyond our conscious awareness. It's working beyond our understanding. And in this way, it helps to dissolve the ego personality, which is one of our goals. We have this construct called the ego, and it thinks it is the authority, but it is delusional, as well as all of its other perceptions, because it exists, the ego personality exists in duality. Therefore, it perceives the world through the lens of separation. When we do these practices, we are disentangling ourselves from the illusion. We are moving from duality into unity, into oneness or unity consciousness. We are nearing source, nearing God. And so this mantra helps to dissolve the false aspects of the self. And it's true, it is a cumulative process. So each day that we do it, we reap the benefits, just like any practice. It just keeps accumulating more and more until we realize, wow, I am feeling so much more at peace and centered and grounded and less reactive in the world. So it is a powerful tool. Mantra comes from the words manas and tra. Manas is mind, tra is tool. So a mantra is a spiritual tool or spiritual tool that facilitates the balancing of the mind and the raising of the consciousness of one's being. So I will repeat the mantra throughout this evening so that you can feel the profound effects. Om Bhuvasuva Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhuvasuva Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhuvasuva Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So in this statement, there is so much information, mainly that it is through the sound, through the utterance, through the thought, through the word that we can connect or disconnect from source. And so we wish to be very careful with our words. Dr. Masaru Emoto, did a study with water, and he placed various words on glasses with water in it to see what effect the words would have on the structure of the water. And so he put love on one glass and hate on another glass for a period of time, and then he froze the water in each glass, and then with a microscope looked to see what happened to the crystals, the formations within each of these glasses. And so he noticed that the glass with love on it became a perfect, beautiful, crystalline structure. And that the glass with hate on it became a very ugly, dark, distorted crystal configuration. And so right there, we have proof that what we think, say, speak, vibrate, the frequency that we vibrate at is creating reality. That everything is happening vibrationally within us because we are mostly water, and we are vibrating that water within us through our words. And then since we're vibrating at a certain frequency and the external world is simply a reflection of our inner state of consciousness, we are going to receive whatever we are putting forth vibrationally. So the world is simply a mirror of our inner state of consciousness. So if we don't like what we're seeing, we need to shift our state of being, our state of mind, our thoughts, our presence. And so we use these tools like the mantras or affirmations in order to dissolve those creations that we've created, thereby shifting our frequency, which shifts the world's frequency, because each one of us is creating heaven or hell on earth through our own vibrational field. We are the ones creating reality. And so as each one of us pulls our energy back and does our own inner work to heal ourselves, to heal means to become whole again, to return to unity consciousness. So if each one of us does our own inner work, then we are contributing to healing on the planet. As one is healed, all are healed. And then wherever we go in the world, we vibrate at a higher frequency, and everything changes around us because of the law of entrainment. When a lower frequency encounters a higher frequency, that lower frequency must entrain to the higher frequency. So when you walk around as the sun, everything around you becomes pure light. And so the rishis, the seers in the Himalayas, are the ones who have gifted us with this mantra and many others. So these are the ones meditating in caves. And in this state of meditation, they are empty, they are open. And therefore, when one is open, one is receptive to guidance, higher consciousness, mantras, spiritual insights, inspirations, many things. When we are empty, when we cultivate emptiness. So these rishis, they are serving humanity by being receivers for these mantras, for us to utilize, that we may remember who we are by releasing who we are not, by clearing the past, the samskaras, the limited programs, patterns, and beliefs that reside in the subconscious. So it behooves us to utilize these great gifts from these seers, because the world is changing more and more each day. The energy on the planet is moving at a higher and higher frequency, which means more light coming into our bodies, which means we have to up the ante to be able to hold 1,000 watts of energy instead of 100 watts. And it's happening, pretty quickly from my perspective. So the practice of this mantra, generally, how I practice it is I try to do at least one round a day. So one round is Om Bo Bhuvasvaha Tat Savito Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yana Prachodayat. That's one round. And I say it silently, and it can go very, very fast, even faster than that. And the way you can record how many you're doing is by using a mala, which is like a rosary. It's beads. It's 108 beads. And then on the end, there's a guru bead to inform you you've arrived at 108. And so we hold the first bead after the guru bead, not with the pointer. This is the finger of judgment or anger, from what I was taught. So we use the other fingers, the thumb, the third finger, the fourth finger, and we count using these fingers. Om Bo Bhuvasvaha Tat Savito Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yana Prachodayat. Om Bo Bhuvasvaha Tat Savito Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yana Prachodayat. Om Bo Bhuvasvaha Tat Savito Varenyam. And then sometimes naturally it wants to go slower. And when that happens, I feel like we've hit something that we're working on. And so I allow it all to slow down and then allow the mantra to run its own course the way it wants to. And then it sometimes just speeds up on its own again. So we think we are uttering the mantra, but it's actually the mantra is playing us. It's doing us. So even though the mantra was given to me, my inner voice said that from lifetime to lifetime, the mantra follows us. So if we're called to a particular mantra, chances are we've been doing it for lifetimes. And so we're basically stepping back into a vibration that is very familiar to us, that we recognize. And it is taking us to the next level of consciousness because it probably took us as far as it could in that lifetime. And so we are continuing with this practice from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. And so even at night before going to bed, I begin the mantra. I generally don't finish it because I fall asleep, but I like going to sleep with the mantra because then the mantra takes me into dream time. So I am continuing the mantra in my sleep. And then when I wake up, I'm hearing the mantra when I wake up. So I go to sleep with the mantra and I wake up with the mantra. I also, throughout the whole day, I will utter the mantra internally. So the practice can be internally or externally. Depends on what works for you. And anything else I'd like to share about this mantra? I think that's good. I'm going to just utter it once more. Om Bhuva Suvah Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhuva Suvah Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhuva Suvah Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om. There are numerous channels on YouTube that you can watch that are saying the mantra over and over again. Deva Pramal has a really beautiful rendition of this mantra, and I like to play it sometimes in the background in the house. So there you go. Let us open up the space, remove the pin, and how do I view remove pin? Here we go. I'm looking to make it the Brady Bunch, but it doesn't seem. Is it? Can you see everybody on here? Or you can? But in the big form? Oh, I'm not having that experience. So let's see. Well, it is what it is. Okay. So, any thoughts, sharing, questions? Anyone been doing the mantra for some time that wants to share? their experience about it or anything else that anybody else wants to share. I can't see everybody, so you're going to have to unmute and then I'll ping you. Anna, I know you have some experience with this mantra. We can't hear you. You have to unmute.
To speak.
Now we hear you, but we don't see you.
Right. Let me see.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. Oh my God, I'm very bad with technology. Just
That's okay.
yeah. Well, yeah, I have experience, a very good experience actually with the Gayatri Mantra.
How long have you
Uh,
been doing the mantra?
oh my God, like more than 20 years.
20
You
years.
taught me the mantra. Wow, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's beautiful. It's like peaceful, give me a lot of peace of mind, and I would say miracle too. Some miraculous mantra. The very significant experience that I recall more than any other is when my daughter Erica, we went to apply for FAFSA for college, and the vaccines was a very big thing, a very big problem because they were not allowing them, without certain amount of vaccines. So we saw that everybody else was being rejected because they were not fully vaccinated. And she says, "Let's go. There's no point to be here. I'm not fully vaccinated." And I was like, "No." I was chanting the mantra, and she was like, be quiet. You're embarrassing me." And I was like, "No, just let me do my thing. Just let me chant the mantra." And so I kept chanting the mantra, and when we got there, when was our turn, the lady took a look to the vaccination card and she says, "Oh, you're good. It's all good. Go ahead, take the next step." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then again, with financially, we didn't have the money that we were supposed to pay at that very moment. And she says, "Okay, the vaccines are okay, but the money, we don't have the money." I said, "Let me keep chanting the mantra and let's go to the next step." Same thing. So yeah, they told us it's all good. The FAFSA has been approved and everything. It's okay. You're good. Go ahead. So Erica was like, "Oh, what?" And I was like, "Just these are things that people mostly don't believe, but really, my God, they are amazing. Really, really, I can see the miracles that happened, and yeah, that's one of the most important experience I haven't. When my son was sick or something, I always keep chanting the mantra or, give me a lot of peace of mind. And that together with another affirmation of Florence Scovel, beautiful one. I learned in Spanish. So, but anyway,
Florence Scovel Shin, The Game of Life.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but she has an affirmation, a specific one. I can say it in Spanish, but I don't know if you guys will understand.
go ahead.
Yeah, niego esta apariencia de enfermedad, es irreal, por lo tanto no puede registrarse en su subconsciente. Abraham Sosa es una experiencia divina. Abraham Sosa, sí. Yeah, I forgot right now. But yeah, I always keep repeating that together with the Gayatri Mantra. And the other mantra that you taught us to that I would like you to teach us again. I don't remember the name.
It's called the Maha Mrityunjaya.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that also very powerful. And I noticed the little kids that used to come to my classes, they love that mantra. Beautiful. So thank you, Joseph. That was always grateful to you for teaching me all these great tools to make my life easier. And yeah, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you.
You're
Love you
welcome,
so
Anna.
much.
Thank you for sharing that.
Sure, my pleasure.
The the mantra, when she used it, it helped her to clear the space to allow the experience, for her to have the experience that was at the higher octave. So that was an experience of being in the world, but not of the world. You get it? The world was saying, you cannot come to this school without these vaccines, right? That was the world of duality. And the world of duality said, you can't come to the school without the money. That was the world of duality. She uttered the words, these Sanskrit words. She cleared the field, which meant she went to another octave. She went to heaven on earth. She went to unity consciousness, to oneness. And in oneness, everything is perfect. Everything unfolds with ease and grace. All of our needs are met. I call it the new paradigm, AKA heaven on earth. So even though her daughter was the ego personality, why are we wasting our time waiting online when this is not going to work? I didn't get vaccinated, so I can't go to the school. And she's like, don't worry about it. Anna was the witness, repeating the mantra, while the ego personality was like the talking teeth on the shelf saying, but this, but that. And so Anna rose above the ego personality, went to a higher octave, a higher frequency, where the woman saw what Anna needed her to see, which was she was vaccinated. Great, you're all set. Move on to the next thing, to the next step. And then she went to the next step, still in the higher vibration. And again, the woman saw and perceived from the higher vibration because of the law of entrainment. Lower frequencies will always go to a higher frequency. It's like in that Star Wars movie when the guy was saying, these are not the droids you're looking for, right? He kept repeating that over and over again, almost like a mantra, like he was filling their head with the words to say to let them pass. That's exactly what's happening when you live in a higher frequency in this world, is the world will give you back the higher frequency. So that's a beautiful example, Anna, of the power of changing our mindset and changing one's field of consciousness so that we have a different experience in the world. It's the same thing with the physical body. When we utter these mantras, when we utter this mantra specifically, it will begin to clear the cells so that it experiences greater health. So it can receive more chi, more life force energy. That is what's capable, what's possible when we use these spiritual tools to raise our frequencies. Anyone else? Thank you.
I'll just say, I think we can end right there because Anna, whenever you contribute, and sometimes I know you don't want to, and Joseph will invite you to, I personally, it's like you pierce something, like your conviction and your confidence in the truth of what Joseph teaches us. You demonstrate the power of it. He teaches it, and then you're like, oh, it actually works. But it's not like you just try it. You just have this freight train straight through. And by sharing that, you really have had a huge impact on me tonight and probably others. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and say thank you. Keep sharing because it really helps us.
Mhm.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much. Your words really mean a lot to me. I'm very shy. I have like a lot of very great things to share, but yeah, I'm very shy. But yeah, all that the teachings of Joseph, my God, they really transform my life for the better. Really, I'm always forever grateful to him, to God for sending him my on my path, and all of you guys. You see all these beautiful people. My God, I'm so fortunate to be surrounded by you guys. Thank you. Your words are beautiful. Really, really make me feel so good. Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joseph, and everyone else.
Thanks, Anna. I look forward to your book that you're writing in Spanish.
Wow. Oh my God, I keep thinking and thinking, but I'm like,
No, 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 no. Don't let
no,
that
I'm
part.
like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. I'm always saying, I'm
Oh,
not good
no, no, no,
enough.
no.
No.
I used to
I,
have the same thoughts, but then spirit takes over and writes for you. So you're just the vessel. It's not about you. So you just start writing, and all of a sudden you'll be surprised that this channel opens up and you can't stop writing. That's what happens for me. So yeah, I was in remedial English in college for God knows what reason, but I am on my fourth book right now. So,
wow.
and they're good. They're actually quite good. So if I
Yeah,
follow
it's
the
so
mindset
good.
of, oh, I don't have the experience or I don't have the skill, then I wouldn't have moved forward. But no, don't let that part of you diminish your soul's talents, because when you surrender, all of a sudden these beautiful words just come through. And then, like, editors just show up in my life and perfect the book. So you just have to do your part and let the rest arise to support you in completing your book. How did I know? How did I even know that you're writing a book, Anna?
I don't know, Joseph, because you're so wise. You're
No, it's because I'm open. I'm just open. I don't actually know anything. It just came out of my mouth. It wasn't even the thought of mine. So that means I'm seeing what is already coming. So I didn't say I look forward to when. I said I look forward to your book when it's done. So like
wow.
it's already being written. So just take the time each day. You're on trains, whatever it is, just start writing notes. And then all of a sudden you'll realize you'll have a book. What's the name of the book, Anna?
Oh my God. I I've been thinking about, but I was like, I'm gonna steal it. I'm gonna steal the title because it is a game of life. You gave it to me. I didn't know anything about it. You gave it to me, and it was like, oh my God. I felt that I was walking on clouds. Everything was possible.
Right.
Everything.
So
Wow.
you can use that name because you can use, it's not, the name is not copywritten. So you can use it, but you can also tweak it a little bit, maybe call it um yeah, just you can add another word or two and just tweak it to make it really fit. But use that as the jump start to the book you're writing. Let that stay in your consciousness, and then over time, the extra words will come.
Okay. That's a good. Thank you. Thank you, Joseph.
Sure
That's a
thing.
good advice. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone else. Thank you so much.
Sure thing, Anna.
Always forever grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Who else would like to share? Hmm.
Here, I'll share.
Hey, Nina.
When you're talking about clearing, because I use this mantra and put it on and let it play and play and play in my house when I'm clearing the space. And I also clear a lot of homes to sell. So it's amazing what agents have told me that once I've been in there clearing the home, and just having this music and saying the mantra, how much it clears the space. And then it clears all of that stagnant energy. And it's amazing. Like I was clearing one house not too long ago, and it had been sitting on the market for, I don't know, 10 months. And the agent told me that she came to meet me after I was clear, after we were done. And she said, oh my goodness, I just had an agent call me within the hours I was there and was like, wow, we've been thinking about this for a while. And that they were, negotiating an offer. I mean, it was amazing. And the agent was just like, oh my goodness gracious. But it's the power of energy, the mantra, and all of that. Um, and just clearing the space out. So yes, the new and the higher vibration can come in. I mean, it's phenomenal. But yeah, so thank you as well.
Yeah. yeah, another example of that, when we say words, that it impacts the space, the environment, whatever the environment is, it is impacted by our words, positive or negative. So when we choose, to say Sanskrit words and use this mantra, then we are permeating the space with this consciousness. And therefore, it's going to ripple effect into the world. And then those people that are aligned, because it's clear, because maybe that house would had some energetic obstacles in it or around it. And if that's the case, the mantra, just like it helps to dissolve those energies inside of us that are dissonant, it will also dissolve all those energies around and within the house that is dissonant, to allow the perfect, whatever, buyer, renter to come. It opens up the pathway, the doorway. So well done. Very well done. Thanks, Nina. Who else? What else? Any other experiences? Questions? Sharings? Yeah, Russell.
I don't have a particular occurrence around it, but the Gayatri Mantra has been in my life for a number of years now. I think I first heard the Deva Premal version um, while I was in isolation during the pandemic. And as you know, she sings it on a continuous loop. The way that she's phrased it, it ends in sort of a way that naturally flows into it starting again. So you just it becomes hypnotic. And I didn't know what it meant. I just would listen to it all the time. And I'd be outside in the garden and I would just be on a constant loop in my head, sometimes out loud, sometimes just in the background. And a couple of years later, I heard from a woman I know who was on the Sufi path, who offered a translation that I found very beautiful. It really speaks to the quality of the sun and the light and the unity in a simple and very focusing way. And then I came across another recording that is, I think, Craig Pruis, where it's chanted at a very low level, like Tibetan monks,
Mm.
really, really low bass, very vibrant. And I often just play that on a loop in my home. There's something, it just has a quality that's very grounding and focusing to me. I'll chant along, I'll sing along, or I don't know. Like I'm not aware if I'm joining in or I'm just hearing it. It all sort of flows through me.
Right. It at a certain point, it just does us. So we're swimming
Yes.
in that field of consciousness of the Gayatri Mantra.
Mhm.
And that's what I mean when I wake up in the morning. It's continuous. It's still playing. So it is like,
I find it in my playing in my it's like my soundtrack.
right,
I, it'll be playing in the background and I haven't noticed it. It's like, oh, I'm singing the mantra. It's just
right,
as going on. Yeah.
right.
Not a particular, like I don't have a recognition of, oh, this has led to something, but there's a quality of presence and groundedness about it that I find very, very balancing and helpful.
Yeah. And if we're uttering the mantra or the mantra is playing us, then other things do not enter. Like every time I go into a store, I walk out and I'm singing the song that was in the store. And I'm like, damn, they did it again.
Yep.
They did it again. And, I have a degree in marketing and business. So I know all the tools that are used to get me to think and behave a certain way. So even knowing that, it pulls right into my subconscious and I start replaying like a virgin. And I'm like, Joe, why are you singing that? Like, let it go. And then I'll go right to the Gayatri Mantra to take over, because I don't want to be singing Madonna. That's not the vibration I want. I want higher frequencies of energy and I want that mantra playing in the background. So I will immediately go to the Gayatri Mantra usually, or Om. That is another one I'll just utilize to clear whatever I may have picked up sound wise, frequency wise in the store that I was just in. So yeah, we are continuously being bombarded with energetic information, sound, frequency, and we need to clear the field just like we clean our bodies on a regular basis. We need to clear our field of consciousness so that that stuff, those lower frequencies, don't get into our subconscious mind and start running the show. Right? Maintain the higher frequency that we may experience the new paradigm, heaven on earth, so that when we say apple, apple happens. That's where we're moving, actually, where the word is spoken and the word is produced, that we create through the word. Now we have time and space, and time was moving very slow. So like I said, I visualized this house that I'm living in 2003, and here it is. I got it in 2017. That's a pretty slow speaking into existence and manifestation. Now, as time speeds up, as energy speeds up, we are able to produce whatever we are speaking, positive or negative, faster and faster and faster. And that's why I think the Gayatri Mantra is so apropos to be utilizing on a daily basis to clear the field, to usher in higher frequencies of energy into the world, into our little world, into the greater world. I mean, imagine if 1,000 people are doing this together. That is a very powerful transmission. Very powerful transmission. And I believe Masaru Emoto would go with numerous people to various lakes and bodies of water that were polluted, and through praying and chanting, they would transform the pollution and the water will be cleared. That's pretty powerful. We each have that capacity to heal, to become whole again. We all have that capacity. And the more we do it internally, the more we become whole, the more we can support others in becoming whole. Right? It's my career. My career is as a healer. So I do the inner work on myself, and people show up, and it's like a tuning fork, right? Everyone gets to attune to the benefits of the work that I've done. And that's how we each support each other in climbing the spiritual mountain. Each one of us goes up, and then we lift the other one up. We're not alone on this journey. And I couldn't be here if I didn't have various teachers who were higher up on the mountain supporting me and seeing through the veil of illusion and clearing the samskaras and recognizing my patterns that I'm projecting into the world and thereby creating suffering for myself and others. Without those teachers, there's no way I could be where I am today. So we all stand on the shoulders of giants, of magnificent beings. Who else wants to share? Anyone need some support on any level? I have my cat on my lap. She chose to sit on my lap. Hey, Dee.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I know it vibrationally is probably not as potent, but how would it be to have it playing overnight or have it playing in the space when you're working or doing something else?
Yes, absolutely. It's like we play all types of music when we are in our space. So why would you not want to play a powerful mantra like that to clear the space? because that's entering the subconscious mind. So yes, that works. Saying it to oneself works. Chanting with the mantra, as it's playing in the background, all of it is going to help. All of it. How's your being, Deanne?
Got a pretty rough week with symptoms, but things have actually calmed down.
The key when any physical symptoms arise is to maintain neutrality in the mind.
Yeah.
Because the body is always reflecting the mind. And if the mind stays neutral, the body's going to eventually get that neutrality. It's going to heal. But the body is always informing us of what the mind is doing. So I'm at a place, because I used to have a lot of physical stuff, but a lot of reactivity to physical stuff. But now, whatever happens, my mind has anchored in witness consciousness. So it's like, oh, that's interesting. That pain is interesting. That discomfort is interesting. So now it just goes to that rather than collapsing or going to a gorse or a gentian state, like, oh my God, here we are again, because that anchors the physical symptoms. But if I stay neutral and the body doesn't have any cues of reactivity, then it's not fed physically. The physical body is always the last to heal because it's so dense. And because of that density, it took time to get there. So it's going to take time to unravel. But if the mind gets to a neutral witness state, then the bodily symptoms will eventually respond to that. So that's what I have come to in my own healing path. And going right to the flower essences and homeopathy to get my mind in a place of contentment, acceptance, rather than the collapse state.
You know how you pointed me to parts work?
Yes.
So I did some parts work around this yesterday where I took the part that was worried and I set them across the room. Like I gave some different parts a break. And that seemed to have made a huge difference when I woke up this morning. So thank you for pointing me in that direction. It's interesting work. It's potent.
Yes, because the parts of us are split, and it's the split that creates pain and suffering in this world. So the goal is, how do I unify my parts again? That's the work. And that can take time as well. First of all, locating those parts, and then communicating with those parts, and then integrating those parts. So it's a process, Everyone's looking for the quick fix. How can I get through this? What pill can you give me to be done with this? And it's like, that's not how healing happens. Everything takes time. We may have been running some of these patterns for lifetimes. So we have to honor that. We have to honor the path that we are on in this incarnation and say, I accept this. I accept this. Also, there are many of us on this planet that are doing the work of many. So I'm not just healing myself. I am kind of a surrogate for many people on the planet. And so figuring things out within myself then creates a blueprint for others to utilize. That's what I've come to, because certain symptoms just make no sense. That pop out of nowhere, right?
Not to mention ancestral as well.
Yes, there's so many facets, so many factors. And that's why we go to humility and vulnerability of like, okay, I don't know what to do about this. I'm open to receiving guidance on how to take care of this. And then I may hear something like, oh, this herb. All right, let's try this herb. Or someone may contact me about a naturopath or an energy worker or something. When I ask for help rather than collapsing, then all of a sudden some details come to me of a next step. But, we have to honor the path we've chosen before incarnation and what healing entails. What healing entails. And for some of us, it's a long road. It's a long road. But we have tools. We have the flower essences. We have homeopathy. We have the parts work. We have mantras. We have meditation. We have dance. We have, diet and nutrition. So many things. But first and foremost, we must have a neutral mind that doesn't react to the symptoms or the experience. Just say, it's curious. I'm having these experiences again. I'm not comfortable. I have to, it would happen a lot to me in the earlier years of my 30s, where I would have to go teach. And I was very uncomfortable in my body. And I'd say, listen, I have to go teach. I need this body to be working for the next 4 hours so I can take the train to the city, teach a class, take the train home. Then we can resume. I need this to happen. I need it to happen ASAP. And that's exactly what would happen. My symptoms would all diminish. I get to the city, teach the class, come home, and then gradually they would return. So we actually have access. We have the capacity to ask. If we don't go into collapse and feeding the problems, we get to go into a place of, listen, I know I am supported by the infinite, and this is my request now. Can you please support this request? And see what happens. All you could do is try it out. But I'd done it so many times, and 100% of the times, I got my request answered. But I also found that even when I would go into a session not feeling well, as soon as I sat down with someone in a healing state, holding a healing vibration, all my symptoms would just disappear. So it's just very curious that these things happen. It makes you wonder, are they actually there to begin with? Because if they disappear, where did they go to? What's going on? So it's a very curious topic of conversation of what is actually real and what is actually an illusion. Good stuff. Good stuff, D. Keep on trucking. Who else? Allison, how are you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, the what is real and what is not real, and just observing, just staying in the observer, and I don't know, there's sometimes this detached, what am I actually doing then if I'm just sitting here watching the movie and the play and all of that? So I get confused between what is real and not real. Am I actually making the decisions, and do I have am I just sitting here as the observer for everything? Where is the authority? So it's confusing to me to understand really the authority. I'm not, though. I'm just sitting here as a passenger, or I'm just watching the play, and it's what am I actually doing? I'm just watching.
So the authority is the observer, which is you. Do you have a sense of that authority?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So that authority within you is making the decisions. Is that clear?
Yes, but I guess that I don't often feel that they're connected, or that is, I guess there's confusion or maybe judgment, or
What's the judgment?
Just what am I doing? What
So
am
what
I
is
doing?
the answer to what am I doing? What is the answer? So who's asking the question, what am I doing?
I don't know. It's the one who's frustrated.
Yeah, so who's that?
Um, the one who's tired.
So that's the ego, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So the one reacting is the ego.
Yeah.
So who's the authority? So if you're not the ego, the part that's reacting,
Yeah.
and you are the witness, you're the observer,
Mm-hmm.
you're observing the ego feeling the way it's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the answer to what am I doing from the authority inside of you? What's the answer to the ego's question? What am I doing?
I'm just here. I'm here.
I'm here. You
Mm-hmm.
got it. I'm here being myself. And
Yeah.
then what's the argument from the ego?
I think it's the I'm just here. Like the just part was from the ego. Like I'm just here is the judgment or the like I'm just here.
Right, we're not doing something.
Yeah. Or like then it's I guess the ego is like the confusion of really we're just here. That's it.
And then what does the authority say?
That maybe that's where I don't have the authority at that point.
The authority says, yes, we are just here. We are
Mm-hmm.
being here until we are motivated to act.
Who's motivated to act?
The authority is motivated to act.
Okay.
Something arises within you that says, hey, I need to contact Joseph for a session, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
the authority. How do
Yeah.
you know to contact me for a session if there's not an authority there?
Mm-hmm.
And then the mind will say, oh, I don't want to see that guy. Or no, it's not this or it's not that. And then the witness says, well, thank you for your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to contact him.
Mm-hmm.
So the authority is the one that is in the know. The confused part is not the self, is not the authority, is not the witness. None of these parts of you are confused. They're simply present.
Mm-hmm.
But the part of you says, what am I doing with my life?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to respond to it. We're doing nothing. Nothing is something. But your ego doesn't like that because we're conditioned
Mm-hmm.
to do, to always be busy. Otherwise, you're nothing. But I would say nothing is a really good thing to be. It's an achievement. Nothing is an achievement.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing in my mind. That's an achievement. So when you train the ego personality to sit still, that's why we meditate. Sit, just be. But no, I really want to do something. Got it. For the next 15 minutes, we're just going to sit here, though.
Mm-hmm.
So the authority is the author of reality. The authority is the author of reality. I have decided I'm going to sit here until I get some sort of calling or motivation to do something. That is what life should be about.
Mm-hmm.
We are motivated, we are moved, not pressurized, not feel guilty, not feel like a cog in a wheel, but feel authentically moved to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So the doing is secondary, not primary. Being is primary. From the being, we act. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any confusion now?
Not in this present moment.
Yeah. So for you, the flower essences of Centauri, Serato, Centauri is centered in themselves. It's
Mm-hmm.
right in the name of the flower essence. Centauri, centered in self. Also, you need Serato. Serato is certain of themselves.
Mhm.
Also, Larch for self-confidence. And I'm sure these remedies are in your flower essence combination, but whenever you get into this loop of, I don't understand, I'm just witnessing, I'm just watching, what am I doing? Take your Centauri, take your Serato,
Mhm.
take your Elm if you get overwhelmed, take your Larch, take your Impatience. Frustration is impatience.
Mhm.
I really want to know already. I really want to know. I sat in my apartment in Brooklyn when I was 24, 25 years old for a year and did nothing. I just sat there because my inner voice told me to do so. And this is how I learned how to sit in the emptiness and really appreciate nothing. And it was really a miraculous year. And I came out of it so much stronger intuitively because I cultivated the emptiness, which is where intuition arises in the emptiness, not the fullness of a busy mind, but in the emptiness. So I'm a big fan of doing nothing as much as possible. To just relax, because this world has us running around thinking that in order to be someone, we have to do all these things. And I don't agree with that. I think all we have to do is be. And in the being, we will know what to do. And then this way, we are not governed by the ego personality. We are governing the ego person. We are driving the ship. We are not a passenger. We do not want to be a passenger in these bodies in this lifetime. We want to be the author, the authority, the driver, all of it. That is the goal. And in order to be the author and the driver of our own ship, we have to separate ourselves from the mind. We have to have space between the self, the true self, and the mind that generates all of this nonsense. Separation, othering, judgment, guilt, shame, hatred, all these things it generates. And so we create space. Like I always use this example. Here's the ego personality, and here's the true self. And most of us live like this, thinking that we are the ego personality. The first thing is we have to create some space. There's an ego, there's a mind, there's thoughts, and there's me, the authority. And I'm watching this thing. And this thing is very loud. It's very loud. But I watch it. And because it's not going to be fed, it starts to diminish in volume because I'm not feeding it until this starts to happen. And then it's like, oh, this is the authority. I am the authority. So when this peeps up, like, oh, that person is like, thank you so much for your, perception. Thank you so much for your ideas. We're not going there. Yeah, but this person, thank you so much. Thank you. We're not going there. But you should, thank you so much. We're not going there. I'm not doing that. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsavito Virenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yuna Prachodayat. And then this is like, oh yeah, right. We're just the peanut gallery. We're not the authority. And then more and more, this is less and less present. It has less and less power. But it requires conscious effort to not allow this to run our lives. It's a daily thing. Why do you think I teach the flower essences? Why do you think I'm teaching energy medicine? Because the flowers help us to not get caught in that realm. It helps to neutralize the reactivity of the personality and bring us to the higher octave of the soul. And anyone that's worked with me knows the power of these energetic medicines. I am living proof of these energetic medicines, but also many clients are, because everyone's getting better. Everyone is more and more integrated and integral. And that to me is the goal. More whole, more healed. And that is a step-by-step process. Eventually, this work bears fruit, right? You don't just plant a seed and get fruit the next day. No, sometimes it's 5 years plus before you're going to see any fruit. But if you start with the foundation, till the soil, plant the seed, give it sun, give it water, give it the nutrients it needs, it will grow. It will grow at the perfect speed. Just like each one of us, we are growing at the perfect speed. Everything is perfect. There's nothing wrong. Everything is perfect. No matter what it is, it's all perfect. And so we have to train the mind to see through that lens of perfection rather than what's wrong or othering, the realm of duality. And I'm telling you, the new paradigm is extraordinary. It's a really wonderful place to be living in. Because you say something or think something and it happens. But that's also, you got to be careful because there's instant karma in the new paradigm. So anything you think arises. So watch that mind, watch those thoughts. Make sure that you are having thoughts, thinking thoughts of what you want to experience in the world. Do not think thoughts that of a world you do not want to perpetuate. I learned this very early on. All these stories that I share with you is in this book that I'm writing. But the power of my thoughts when I was in Brooklyn, I was like around 26 years old, and I had a teacher then who was a master clairvoyant, and I was in my garden weeding, and I had just had a session with her, and I was pissed. She said some things to me that really rattled me. And I'm in the garden going, that bitch, how dare she say these things to me? I cannot believe that she would say that. And I went on and on and on. And then I came upstairs and, this is the 1990s. So the phone, was beeping, the red light on the recorder, the machine, informing me I had a message. And so I listened to it, and it's like, hey, Joe, it's Melissa. My guide is telling me you're sending me psychic dogs my way. Just wanted to let you know. And I'm like mortified, like mortified that she received these negative thoughts that I was having. She called them psychic dogs. I called her back immediately and I profoundly apologized. I said, I'm so sorry. She's like, oh, it's okay. You're just projecting your mother stuff on me. She was so chill. She was so cool about it. I never forgot that experience. And from then on, I watched every single thought because I realized if she didn't have her guidance and support, what could have happened to her from my psychic dogs? I could have harmed this individual. So from that moment on, I committed to really paying attention to all of my thoughts and words, and I would pull them back immediately if I found they could potentially cause harm to someone. So this is why we really want to neutralize negative thoughts, dissolve the ego personality. Because also, if I'm causing harm to her, that harm always comes back to me. It's always a boomerang. Whatever we put into the world always returns to us. We receive what we transmit. So much wisdom, even in the mistakes that we make in our lives. That was more than half my life ago, and I've never forgotten it. And that lesson stays with me. So, quote, negative experiences or mistakes are always opportunities for learning and transcending lower frequencies. Good stuff. Really good stuff.
So, Joseph, I have a question. When we observe that, or we catch ourselves doing that, or we reflect back on, oh my gosh, this morning I really lost it. Does the mantra, like I do this all the time. I look like a crazy person on the street, like I'm cutting the cords. I cut myself from that thought. I cut like I'm like scrubbing like a weirdo. But would the mantra help? If we say, I call that back, like,
So you can neutralize your thoughts by having the balancing thought. So with
okay,
Melissa, I could have said, realizing that I was projecting my negative mother stuff on her, I could have said, oh, I send love and compassion to Melissa. So I transmit a neutralizing vibration. I own that this is about me because there is no outside. The external world is just a reflection, and Melissa is just holding my projections for me. So I take full ownership and I send love and blessings to Melissa instead. So you neutralize with the words, but yes, the mantra is going to help with purifying your consciousness. Good. Yeah, just like we create any negative thing in the world, we can create positive things in the world. We are forgiven. We can forgive ourselves. We can forgive others. That is another powerful tool, the tool of forgiveness, to truly let yourself and someone else off the hook and accept that, wherever we were in consciousness, that's what we did. And, I forgive myself for that behavior in that moment in time, or I forgive this other person. Hence the cutting cords meditation with its forgiveness aspect in there. Anyone else? Yes, Shelby.
So I've been using the Gayatri mantra off and on. I'm trying to remember if it was you or Shivanan Thomas Emilio who introduced it to me. It was around probably the same time. But regardless, this mantra has been a bit more repetitive in my awareness the last 3 weeks. And so when I saw the theme of this event, I thought it was interesting, to say the least. And something that has been revisiting me lately, despite many magnificent changes, even since I last saw you with my new business consulting role and let's just say paychecks that now suit me more than they ever have.
Wonderful.
And respect and collaboration beyond what I've received so far in my career, that I look at, and I've also been seeing a few more private clients, which has been great as a sacred intimate and pro dom. But I've still been dealing with some resentment by comparison with some of my, let's just say, private practice colleagues. And I also understand why things in my life had their massive upheaval about 1.5 years ago. And so let's say the distance between understanding why certain things needed to slow down versus where I know I'm capable of being, that distance is much less now.
Good.
But I find it interesting when a part of me, as I've done a lot of parts work, especially with IFS psychotherapy supported by ketamine, that there's still this part of me that is almost incensed and obsessed with the comparison of other, despite many of the things that have now shifted, let's just say, that I elucidated a moment ago. And so I now keep my flower essence kit open every day. So it's there when I need it, but I'm trying to understand what I'm missing. And that's one thing that I've been asking myself the last about 2 to 3 weeks is, what am I missing?
So the first thing to work with here is the mind that thinks it's missing something, the aspect of the personality that thinks something is wrong again. The key is always to observe what is occurring, because the observer eventually will elicit what is needed. So the observation is, it's curious that I am in a state of comparison and resentment with other people. How curious. So that's a empowered state. It's a nothing is wrong state.
Mm-hmm.
Just a curious state. And then if you want to go deeper, you can do a subconscious purge. The reason that I am in this place in comparison and resentment with others is, and then you just say anything that comes into your mind.
Oh, I know exactly why it is.
And why is it?
Because I know why, or I believe I know why, rather, is because it's already done. It's just not here yet.
So you're impatient.
And that's why I took impatience this morning.
Right.
Yes.
So,
because I saw myself. I mean, I'm being reminded in this moment. Like, there have been so many little nuggets, especially when I heard the word blueprint. And then one of my colleagues said, "Oh, the reason you're here as a consultant is because you understand this work on the blueprint level."
correct. Right. So what it took for you to hit a level of mastery in your field of business, it took many, many years and dissolutions and challenges and quote mistakes. And now you're there, you're riding the waves. Wonderful. Now it's the same thing with this next part of your life. It's like you can't just go to the mountaintop and be a master of something. You have to go through different levels, different planes, different experiences, make plenty of quote mistakes, and then you will get to the place that you're looking to get to. So keep your eye on the prize and be present with what is.
Got it. I'm just remembering I'm in process.
We're always in process. Just like Deanne was talking about, the reactivity to the physical symptoms. I remember it well. I used to be there. Now I don't have that reactivity. What it took to get me to a place to not have reactivity of the symptoms. Symptoms are still there, some of them, and eventually those symptoms will be gone. If I get impatient, of course, I'll take impatience.
Yep.
I'll take the gorse if it go into a collapse state. But for the most part, there's just the witness going, that's curious. That symptom just returned again. How interesting. It's curious. I'm having resentment and comparison issues right now. How curious. At a certain point, I will get to a level of mastery whenever I get there. Until then, I'm going to enjoy the ride.
Hmm.
So I have future visions of where I'm at all the time. And I just sit here and I watch it like a TV show. I'm like, oh, that's curious. I wonder when that's going to unfold. Because I'm not there. So what do I care?
Yeah.
I'm right here. I am receiving all the blessings of all the work I've done till this point in time, which is plenty. So I'm actually going to receive all those blessings, and I'll be present when I get to the future of my visions. Just like you get to sit back, receive your nice fat paycheck, receive your nice apartment, receive the accolades, rather than why am I not where I should be with this next part of my career? See how silly it is?
Yes, I do now see the irony of it.
The ego is so absurd because you just ran a marathon and you're like, okay, got to go to the next marathon. It's like, why not just sit your ass down and receive the gifts of all the running you just did?
I mean, I did get to leave the office recently because I said I have a private client to see. I'll see you Monday.
Yeah.
and the CEO, he knows exactly what I do, and that's precisely why he hired me. Because these other folks, they don't get it, which is
Right,
fine. They
but
don't need
it's
to.
it doesn't matter what the other folks get. The question
No,
is, are you getting it? What I'm
I
saying?
am. I am.
Yeah, like I have reached a plateau on the spiritual mountaintop, and I'm going to enjoy the vista before I continue my climb.
Yeah.
This is for all of us. We all do this. We get to a destination and we're thinking about the next destination rather than celebrating the destination we're at. This is a really important thing to consider because Maya, this world of illusion, wants to keep us on a merry-go-round, constantly moving, constantly doing, constantly being busy. When do we get to sit back, take a deep breath, and take everything in that we've just accomplished? When do we get to do that? The nothing.
I mean, you're exactly right. Like, I'm forgetting a lot of the last 18 months was a marathon that I saw coming before I started it. And so, and yes, now I understand, Joseph. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well done. So yeah, I cannot stress the importance of mastering relaxation. My inner voice said years ago, master relaxation and you will master life. And it basically means how to be with what is, how to receive all the blessings from the life we've lived up until this point in time. And it doesn't mean we don't have visions and we don't have a direction, but that we're present in the moment to receive, receive, receive. It's different than doing. We've mastered doing. Now it's about mastering receiving, which also can sound like vulnerability, surrenderance, relaxation, letting go, no activity, no thing. Om Bhuva Suvah Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yu Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhuva Suvah Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhuva Suvah Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodayat. Om